these were the same guys who were like, oh, well, this movie was just a retread of A New Hope. And this one's completely different, but it's just like, oh, but it has so many, and it's like, dude, you know what? I don't understand. Guys, welcome to Hashtag After Dark. Migdalia's been holding it down all day, pretty much. You've been here most of the day.
And last week.
Because
you were at Star Wars last weekend.
I was. You know what I was gonna say? Did you cut those videos, those small videos that were like from the junkets?
Oh no.
Well, fuck it. We could just play the whole things in this. Just put them in. I'll call for them. Just download them so they could be prepped, and I'll call for them. But anyway, what I was going to say is I haven't really been on any of these shows for the last.
I know you've been a little bit AWOL. That's okay. We've been
busy.
Holding it down for you.
I know. I love
the Power Rangers show today.
I'm so proud of him. I'm proud of Daniel for holding it down. I actually thought he was going to be a lot more nervous than he was, because he's only done one other. yeah, like the panel. Like he's only done one other live show by himself, was Doctor Who, but he knows that information.
Yeah.
Power Rangers, for him, pulling the curtain back a little bit, is something that he knew, but I wouldn't say that he knows it like the back of his hand. So I'm really happy that he did it and stepped up to the plate. Daryl. Just kidding.
Leave Daryl alone.
So we're going to be talking about Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Migdalia saw it on Monday.
This is your last verbal spoiler alert warning.
Well,
turn back now.
Yes, we are going to talk about spoilers, and I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, you guys shouldn't do a spoiler."
Should we do a section where it's just spoiler talk, and we'll put a warning?
Yeah. We don't have to get into the spoilers right now.
Yeah.
First and foremost, though, we are going to be talking about Star Wars. So I want to talk about what your experience is with the StarArs franchise, just to begin with.
Well, wait a minute.
We need a baseline.
You went to the premiere last week. I want to know stories. You didn't elaborate on Slack. I was asking your interactions.
Because we couldn't. They took our phones away for most of it.
Right.
And then we didn't have service for the other half of it. Like we were. So
you did an Instagram Live.
Yeah. So we were at and that was a struggle. So we were at the Shrine Auditorium in LA, downtown LA, and I didn't know, but this is where Star Wars actually originally premiered in 1977.
Oh, nice. Wait, where was it?
At the Shrine Auditorium.
That's amazing.
So we got there and we checked in, got our passes, and as soon as you walk in, we tried to go on the red carpet side of it, but they wouldn't let us because they were still doing all the press stuff. So we ended up going through the back way, and we ended up on the red carpet anyway, and then it was crazy because. Have you ever walked one of those like red carpets? Because this is my second time I've ever done it.
Yeah.
And just seeing the paparazzi and all the interviews. And I remember thinking, I was walking down with Ro. We were walking down the red carpet, and I saw some of my peers that I've seen from junkets and stuff doing interviews, and I was like, man, that's usually my job. Like,
makes you feel good.
That's usually what I have to do. But we got there, walked the red carpet. As soon as we walk in, take a couple pictures, they take our phones away. So I couldn't do anything, and it sucks because you kind of want to take a picture of like the setup of when you sit in there because it's the stadium seating. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna take a picture. I was like, fuck, I don't have my phone.
That's what happened at my screening. Continue.
Yeah, so because there's so many cool things you want people to see. But so we did that, and then we ended up watching the film. And here's the thing: I'm not going to talk about spoilers
About how many
yet.
people were in there? How big is it?
Maybe 3,000.
Was it filled?
It was filled. Actually, there was a seat next to me that was open. So it makes me wonder
who didn't show up. Yeah,
it was either the person that was like sitting next to me on the other side, if her guest flaked out, or if we had an additional guest we could have brought. But I don't think that was the case, obviously.
Gotcha.
So there was it was packed though, and sitting in front of us, like directly in front of us, was Robert Kirkman. 4 rows, I think, to the left of us was David Tennant.
Wow.
Down on the bottom was the cast. But sprinkled out were all these celebrities. And it was the strangest...
Like mix?
Yeah, mix of people. Because also, too, you have to see... They had a lot of members of the 501st were there. Right. That were...
And what's David Tennant doing in L.A.?
Yeah, I don't know.
Does he live here?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Because they had a London premiere.
They did. I don't know. Maybe he's doing a project out here. Maybe
Jessica Jones
reshoots or something.
It doesn't shoot here, though. It shoots in New York.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
I have no idea. Maybe he has a meeting out here or something.
Yeah.
So we did that. We ended up watching the movie. Now, it's interesting because I also saw the movie on Thursday night when it actually officially opened. The crowd reactions were, to me, were so much better at the... And I would have thought, because I would have like, oh, you know what? I'm really getting excited to watch it with an actual fan base.
Right.
Not the case, actually. Really? The people that I watched it with in the Shrine Auditorium, it was way. It was the atmosphere. It was. Have you ever been to like a concert or a sporting event where you can just feel the electricity in the room of like this is something special?
And I've also been to premieres and they're just like really hyped too.
So I didn't, and that's another thing too, is I didn't necessarily want to really judge the film as much as I could because I think I was overwhelmed by the experience, and I think that really dictated my initial thoughts. Then I went back to go and watch it on Thursday, and I'll tell you exactly what I thought. However, my feelings haven't changed about the film after seeing it again. But so after that, we watch the film, go to the after party. We get our phones back, which is a little bit of a process. Go to the after party, and the after party is in. It's almost like this underground part of the Shrine Auditorium, but there's no service because it's like underground.
Right.
And they set the whole thing up like Canto Bight, the casino. And so you would play casino games and open bar, and there's food everywhere.
Wait, so was it like fake play money or?
Yeah, so you get chips, but the thing is, as many chips when you get these Star Wars pins.
That's awesome. Did you get any?
I got BB-8. Yeah, I got one because I only played craps because I didn't want to go through playing all.
Right.
But then we were talking to fans. I wanted to talk to actual fans though about their experience and what they saw. So I right away, me and Ro went to talk to members of the 501st, and I wanted to get their initial reaction of what they saw, and they loved it. Again, granted, it could have been tainted by the experience of the premiere, but I wanted to get initial reactions, and for the most part, everybody at the premiere was super hyped about it.
Right.
But the premiere was a lot of fun. We ended up in the VIP section. Ro did a Jedi mind trick to get us in the VIP section. Jesus Christ.
Are you serious?
So he did it great though. It was so slick. So there was it's split when you walk in. There's the regular side and there's the VIP side with all the celebrities. And then we didn't know this, but there's an upstairs with a bunch of activations. It was like a green screen. Like you can talk to BB-8. You can do all these different things, right?
Yeah.
We go upstairs. We do all the activations, and then Ro's like, if we leave on the other side, we'll just end up in the VIP side.
Okay.
And so we're like, all right, fuck it, let's go. We start walking. The lady tries to stop. Ro's like, oh, that's a great shirt, or say something. And we just kept walking. And ended up, she didn't stop us, just kept walking, and it worked. And then we ended up meeting Frank Oz. Peter Mayhew was down there in a wheelchair. I wanted to take a picture of Frank Oz, but I didn't want to be that guy.
Right.
We did take a picture with Kelly Marie Tran down there. Talked to Andy Serkis for a little bit. He was there, and a bunch of other celebrities randomly were there, like TVs, like people from TV shows that you would recognize. But it was really cool. Nice. Laura Dern wasn't there. Ro was trying to hook up with Laura Dern all night. It didn't happen. she left apparently.
Oh goodness.
John Boyega was there. Daisy Ridley. Everybody else was there. But they were all super, super, super cool.
Oscar Isaac. Wait, he did make it, right?
Oscar Isaac.
No, he wasn't there.
I didn't see Oscar Isaac.
I think he made it to the London premiere. He didn't make it.
Yeah, because John Boyega almost didn't make it to our premiere.
I heard.
Yeah, he barely made it on time.
Atlanta was having like a snowstorm or something, and they kept delaying flights.
I think John Boyega is going to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, you think he was shooting something?
I think that
Infinity War.
No. I think he's going to.
He's too busy. He's got Pacific Rim, Star Wars. How's he going to fit that
I really
in?
hope the Pacific Rim franchise like really pans out and like they keep making movies. I love the Pacific Rim movies.
I do too.
They're so much fun. And John Boyega is one of those actors that I just want to see good things happen to him. Because every movie he's been in, I liked. Attack the Block,
right?
Detroit, Star Wars, obviously. But he's damn amazing. Okay, now I want to ask you about your experience because you actually saw the movie on the Disney lot.
I did. I got a wonderful invite by our Disney rep to see Star Wars The Last Jedi. Was it Monday? Yeah, it was last Monday night. And it was on a Disney lot, and it was pretty much industry-based, too. A lot of people that I saw from Screen Junkies, a lot of outlets that we see on the junket circuit. But, yeah, it was like a huge line. We go in the studio. They're like, leave your phones in your car. They're double-checking for phones, like, really? Every which way. Then they give you wristbands, and then they gave, like, us tickets, I believe. And I was like, wow, this is, like, super secure.
Red wristbands?
No, I forgot what color ours was. I think it was yellow. We had like yellow wristbands and like red tickets. Like, show your red tickets, please. But it was like so cool getting to be on the Disney lot, and my friend was super stoked about it that I brought. It was a really good experience. So like you said, like, so we're with industry people, the crowd is like, yeah, whatever. They're like, really into it. And I was like, dude, if it's good now, I need to go see it with, fans, regular people, like fans too. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten a chance to do so yet, but hearing your experience makes it really interesting.
Well, I mean, it's weird. Rotten Tomatoes has so much influence on movie culture, I feel like.
Not on me. Don't let it do it to you.
Not on me either. Personally, I really could care less about the Rotten Tomato scoring.
Mm-hmm.
I do take into considerations what other people think, and I think that's a thing that people do just on social media in general.
Okay.
But my own personal experience, I loved it. Like, watching it a second time, I loved it just as much. I really appreciate what they did. But before we even get into that, there's a few things we didn't plug at the beginning of the show.
We did not. We got really excited.
The number one thing I want to talk about is if you want to see more theories and Star Wars, everything that we have is on our website, that#show.com. Most of our staff, our core staff, has been writing stuff about Star Wars, about the premiere, about the film, theories, lists, new characters, you name it, it's there on that#show.com. Check that out. Also, on Facebook, if you want to keep the conversation going, for all your favorite geekdom, check out that #show hashtaggers group on Facebook. That's right. That hashtag, THS hashtaggers on Facebook. You keep the conversation going there. We also have a T Public store that helps support the show as well. And most importantly, actually not most importantly, but it's a feature that we have, is the Super Chat feature. What that does is it highlights your comments so we can get to them and address them directly. We're not sure if we're doing Skype tonight. It's a possibility.
Oh, we have to. The crowd will go insane.
We'll do Skype tonight as well.
I forgot to tell Josh.
We'll be doing that, so we'll set that up a little bit later on. But right now, before we even start getting...
I forgot. Jalen wanted me to mention this to you. I don't know if you watched last week's episode, but he was doing some killer impressions today. And then someone else called. We had like an impressions off thing.
What?
They were doing like impressions, like he did Transformers. So I'll probably call in again and do it for you.
And impressions? What was the best one that he did?
It was the Optimus Prime.
Really?
Yeah.
Jalen's been trying to get a hold of Daryl. Did you know that?
Yes.
Daryl. He wasn't here today.
I love that comment. His friend was like, "I'm friends with Daryl. I can't even get a text back. I can't reach him either."
Can you give me some more of that plum stuff?
It's grapefruit chamushu.
What is chamushu?
I don't know. Is anyone Korean or Japanese? I think this is Korean.
Is this
anyone
the stuff
Korean?
that Josh brought that he stole?
No, that was from my Friendsgiving that you were locked out of from the police.
Gosh. Did we ever tell that story?
No.
Jeez, that was the worst.
I was so mad because it was only like two of you guys who couldn't get into my party. It was so great.
Yeah, me and our producer JD got stuck outside because there was
somebody stole a car, drove into my neighborhood, ran out of the car and escaped the neighborhood, so the cops blocked off my whole block. They barely let me back into my apartment. The cop was like, "We're only letting you go back in because we saw you come out." I was like, what? This sounds so stupid. Just knock on everyone's door.
We were out there for like 2 solid hours, maybe a little bit longer.
I know. It was just like the most insane thing. I was like, they were like, "We're waiting for the canines," and the neighborhood's not that big.
No, it was crazy.
Yeah.
There was helicopters flying around.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
Okay. So
the next one, though.
Could we put a spoiler warning up? Because we are going to get into spoilers. And anybody that hasn't seen The Last Jedi, I recommend tuning out now and watching this show later. Because the great thing about YouTube is that this show's not going anywhere. It's going to be ingrained on the internet.
We know you guys love to, chat with us on the live chat here, but we respond to comments as well.
Hey, Serenity speaks Korean. Spell out what that says.
It says chamu. Do you know what chamisul is?
Chamisul.
Can you zoom in on that? Just kidding. Wait, he is going to try to do it. Serenity, if you're lying, I'm going to smack you in your digital face.
He is going to do it. All right, so we will be getting into spoilers currently right now. So anybody that hasn't seen Star Wars The Last Jedi, go watch it and check us back out a little bit later on. Now,
well,
wait, real quick, I want to ask you about.
Okay. Ask me questions. That's
what was your number one? Let's talk about nostalgia a little bit. Were there scenes in here that made you tear up at all? What were some of the most emotional scenes that you saw from this film?
All right, I'm not like a hardcore Star Wars person. I saw like Empire or Episode 6. I saw Episode 6 first. Sorry, I have to be like, prequels 1, 2, 3. I saw Episode 6 first.
That was your first ever Star Wars movie?
That was my first ever Star Wars movie. Didn't know what the F was going on. So then I saw the first 3. Okay, they were good. Then I saw it again as I got older, and they were really good. But I still was like more of a Trekkie than a Star Wars person. But This movie almost made me tear up so many times. I felt so excited. I felt like a little kid in there. I swear. The spectacle was amazing. The cinematography was beautiful. That whole thing with the salt and that looked like snow and it was like blood. They're like, it's salt. That was amazing. That whole sequence. I can't even pinpoint a moment. Like the end with Luke and Kylo Ren. That was like superb for me.
So going back, I thought, for me personally, like this is the best ever directed Star Wars movie. Mm-hmm. And now my favorite movie is episode 5, Return of the Jedi. Or I'm sorry, Empire Strikes Back.
Right.
This, in terms of story, in terms of directing, is second. But actual directing, this is the best Star Wars movie I've ever seen.
JJ did a really good job.
He did, but the pacing in this movie.
Yeah.
The reason I like it so much, the reason I do like it more than JJ's movie though, is because JJ essentially did do a a remake of A New Hope.
JJ makes really good foundations to things.
You know what? Let me talk. For those that don't know, let me tell you the story about how these new sequels got made. So, the idea to do these new sequels after Disney bought it was done. Disney wanted to do it, and Lucasfilm, the people at Kathleen Kennedy, wanted to do it, and they had an idea. And the first movie was actually, which was Episode 7, was going to be focused more centric on Luke. Right. And they hired JJ. JJ came in, he read it, and said, you know what? He rewrote the whole script. And they had a new character, Rey, that they wanted to focus it on. Yeah. JJ had a tough time, because I don't know if anybody, I'm sure a ton of people know this on the internet, is that JJ actually pushed back the schedule. It was supposed to release in May, but they pushed it back to December. And he had to fight really hard for that.
Which is smart.
Yeah, so they brought in Lawrence Kasdan to help him rewrite the script, because JJ is an idea guy, but he couldn't execute finishing the writing of the script. So they brought in Lawrence Kasdan. He helped. They essentially made a simplified version of A New Hope. After that, he left the project, was burnt out. They brought in Rian Johnson. Rian Johnson wrote Episode 8 and 9. And he was scheduled to direct Episode 8, and Colin Trevorrow was going to direct Episode 9. Right. After, and from what I understood, he was also going to do it off of Rian Johnson's script. But then what happened is when they brought back JJ kind of wanted to change it. Now they're rewriting Episode 9. Now it makes me wonder a little bit. Number one, with Rian Johnson and JJ, you have to assume certain characters in this don't end up the way JJ probably envisioned them to end up. Okay. Like Rey, really like Snoke. Like you have to.
But why don't you think that?
I don't know.
Since JJ kind of like revamped this whole trilogy, you don't think he had like input?
Well, he's an executive producer. I'm sure he had some input. Right. But it just seemed like they completely went in a different direction of like what.
I did not expect what happened to Snoke to happen.
And it happens midway through the movie.
Yeah, I was like,
it's not like a climatic. I mean, it is a climatic thing.
What's going on now?
But it's pretty crazy. JJ's a great, masterful storyteller. Rian Johnson is a great, masterful director. And I think merging the worlds, I think, is perfect. Right. This is what Star Wars needs. Now, that's a little bit of the backstory on the new trilogy. Now, we get
we know why Colin stepped away?
No, he got fired.
Okay.
Disney,
explains it.
Disney and Lucasfilm let him go. The reasons were undisclosed. They said it was mutual, but realistically, this is after like Lord and Miller left.
Year of the director firing.
Well, year of the director firing mainly for Lucasfilm. Lucasfilm, and this is when Taika Waititi tweeted, "I like to finish my movies," kind of saying that like kind of either give these guys a shot or hey, I just like to finish my movies like.
I can't blame him for not wanting to get involved.
But now Kathleen Kennedy wants Taika Waititi to come on and direct a Star Wars movie. Now, walking out of The Last Jedi, I knew that people were going to have two major problems with this film. Okay. I haven't told you what they are, but I'm sure you can guess.
Two major problems with the film. Is it regarding Snoke?
No.
I can't imagine.
I think the two major problems that people are going to have, hardcore Star Wars fans mainly, the comedy.
Oh,
I think that Star Wars purists are upset that there's too much comedy in this movie.
It's not too much.
I agree. There's not, and it's well done, and it's placed, like for example,
it's character appropriate.
Yeah, like Poe's character is that guy.
Yeah,
and it makes sense. And now then you got the other scene that I think people have a huge problem with too is the Leia using the Force in space when she was like the Peter Quill moment.
A lot of people also didn't like the Finn and Rose like C plot.
I liked it.
They're like, oh, I could have done without that. Oh, they were so underserved, and I was like, get out of here.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, that was kind of weird. I didn't expect that. Like from the trailer, I thought she was gonna kick the bucket.
Who? Rose?
No,
Princess Leia.
Yeah.
Or General Leia.
Yeah. So that came out of nowhere for me, and I'm really surprised that they went that route, considering the tragic passing of Carrie Fisher.
Well, that was originally, funny enough, Rian Johnson, as soon as that happened, came out and said, "We're not changing the film after the." So that was a scene that was already done. That's why he wanted to make that definitive statement, saying that, hey, we're not doing this as a fake out. It's quite interesting, though, some of the choices, because I feel like, all right, so let's real quick talk about you want to talk about the fan response, or actually start talking about some of our favorite moments?
Let's talk about our favorite moments first.
Okay.
Then we'll go to the cons and the humdrum people.
Okay, so
Ugh.
personally, I think Star Wars does a great job at bringing you this nostalgia of when you hear the music, you kind of like get this sense of like, I don't know, this sense of kind of like, oh man, I'm in this
like,
world. I'm immersed.
It's just like, wow.
Like I think there's so many great moments, and number one that Star Wars is doing a great job currently is that they're making a strong female character like Rey, like the head of the film essentially. And I think that it's not forced. It's a thing that's kind of like, it is what it is. I love that Star Wars is doing that. I also love the fact that that whole scene with Luke and Kylo at the end is amazing. Also, I like that in the Force Awakens trailers, we saw the scene where Luke puts his hand on R2 and everything's burning down.
With the metal hand.
Yeah, but the scene's never in the movie, in the first one, in Force Awakens. But now it's like, oh, it's in The Last Jedi. It makes so much sense. I love that as well.
God, Mark Hamill just killed it.
So good.
Just killed it. Like, yeah, I know, like, now he's mostly known for his voice acting with Joker, but he still got it in the live action.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, he
went through so many. He was, like, cynical to, like, dark humor to, like, being, torn up inside to having, like, this strength. Like, it was just so many different...
Hey, are we able to queue up some of the interviews? Like, I want to do a Mark Hamill one. Like, are you able to just use a piece of the Mark Hamill one? The one where he talks about how he didn't expect what's going to happen to Luke?
It might take me a minute, but
okay. But Mark Hamill, man, geez, what an amazing performance. Honestly...
And I love that he's not like one of those people like, oh my God, Star Wars. Oh, could you guys stop talking about that?
Like Harrison Ford?
Yeah,
like
trying to distance himself away from, what started his career.
You know what? And he embraces the fans.
Yeah.
Like, he's a guy, and I'm so happy that he's now getting his comeuppance, because I felt like after his original run in Star Wars, and nobody really, like, when I was a kid, I didn't know Mark Hamill did the voice of the Joker. When I found that out, my mind was blown.
Me either. But you know who came along to kind of bring that attention away from him? Jake Lloyd.
Yeah. That's true.
Everyone was like, whiny Luke, what? No, there's Anakin now.
Yes.
And now there's Kylo.
We did see the movie. People are asking in the chat. We saw it about a week ago.
Tom Craven says the other part he got choked up was when Luke became one with the Force. Yeah. That killed me when Yoda did that.
Well, so there's a couple things on the rewatch that I didn't notice. So Rey steals the books. Like, she takes the Jedi books.
Oh, really?
Because you remember seeing at the end where Finn opens up like a cabinet and there's all the books that are in there? Those are the same books that are in the Jedi Temple.
That.
But that's why Yoda destroys that tree.
Oh, and he's like, I don't give two.
Yeah, and he's kind of like, but I love that scene
too.
too.
Such a boss.
I love that scene though, where Yoda's just kind of like, you know what, like, how many times have you read those books?
I know. It's like we're gonna do away with this BS. It's a new era.
What does he say? Page turners, they are not.
Yes, page turners, they are not.
I love Yoda in this movie. I love seeing Yoda in this movie, because it's that sense of, as soon as you get that pan over and you see those two little ears, you're like, yes, holy shit, like they're bringing back my childhood. I love it.
Then his little reunion with C-3PO.
Yeah, and that was great too.
I love C-3PO.
Like,
I'm sorry.
R2-D2, like when he looked at him, and I almost teared up or choked up a little bit when he's like, I'm not going back to the Resistance, and R2 plays the original message from Carrie Fisher, or from Princess Leia.
It's like, that was...
And I was like, man, that's...
that was dirty. That was a dirty move.
Yeah, that's a cheap move.
Yeah.
I love that. And believe it or not, I I thought that we had just the right amount of pork.
Yeah, I like those porgs.
Like, they weren't shoved down our throats. Like,
oh, when he was doing the chicken
great.
thing, that was amazing. I was just like, oh, get out of my face. And I ended up not eating the chicken.
I did want more chewy.
Pork. Huh?
I did want more chewy.
Yeah, that was kind of odd. He was, like, pushed to the back a little bit. But, you know, that's fine. He was at the forefront the last movie. It is a trilogy. You know, not everyone can be center stage. You know, Kylo was more of the background in the last film.
Yeah. And
now it was more focused on, you know, Kylo and Rey.
Now, how do you feel about General Hux essentially becoming like like he's the butt of the joke?
Dude, I love it.
I love it too.
Domhnall Gleeson, man, I really like that actor. And
was he in Harry Potter?
He was. He was in Harry Potter. He was like in Frank. He was in the other one with Oscar Isaacs, Ex Machina. He was in that.
It's a great movie.
That is a great movie. But I always forget it's him. That's how good he is. And it's just like, it's weird on one hand because they have that kind of like Nazi regime-ness to them. But on the other hand, he's just like so smarmy and it's like, ugh. So I wonder what's going to happen with that.
He's Han. Like, people compare him to Hans from Frozen.
What?
Have you ever seen those memes where it's like when Hans joins the Resistance?
No.
Or Hans joins the First Order?
What did you think?
All right, so I love his he's the butt of every joke, but he's kind of like this clown kind of. But in the first movie he's like this badass, but in this movie I like that though. Because I like that he's the butt of those jokes.
I still think something could be like more dangerous with that. That something is brewing.
I do too, and I also like the fact that when he pulls out his gun and he's ready to kill Kylo, and then Kylo wakes up and just puts it away. I love that. Like I like the fact that they explored his character more in this film. Yeah. That they gave him more depth. Now, one death, big spoiler here. One of the deaths that we saw in this film was Admiral Akbar. I guess that was a wrap for Admiral Akbar. I used to love Admiral Akbar. It's a trap, but it's a wrap. Rest in peace, Admiral Akbar.
Oh my God, that whole sequence is like the whole like brigade got wiped out.
That's all right. So. Now, their numbers, the resistance numbers, literally fits it into the whole confines of the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, what? They got 10 people, and then the kids at the end. So what's gonna happen with that? And man,
did you feel like that they rushed in killing off most of the resistance, like in this film?
No, you know why? Because you need to know that
they're badass.
No, you need to know that the stakes are huge. There's gonna be consequences. People can get killed. Like, that's one of the problems with the MCU and with the DC superhero characters. Yep. When you watch a movie, you're not going into like, oh, well, someone's in danger of dying. No, you're just like, all right, I'm going to chill and see how they defeat the enemy. I think it's always good, like with Game of Thrones, with Walking Dead, that you go in and you don't feel like your characters are safe. Yep,
I agree. And I think, what was the biggest cheer moment in your theater? Because there was two big ones that I can remember in mind.
Trying to run through real quick. I think one of them right off the bat was Laura Dern being a badass and taking that ship and going light speed.
That was one of the big ones. I think the biggest one in our theater both times was Kylo and Rey back to back with their lightsabers.
Oh yeah,
like everyone.
And everyone was like
crazy to me because this dude killed Han Solo in the last movie. Now we're like, okay, we're behind him a little bit.
He has conflicts.
He does.
He loved to say the entire movie, he's conflicted. He has conflict. I put that in the drinking game article.
Conflicted?
Anytime someone says conflict, this movie, take a drink.
The other big moment, too, was when you get the reveal that Luke was never there.
Oh, yeah. I kind of suspected it at first.
Did you? I had no idea.
I kind of suspected it, but then it was like a little too long, the sequence. I was like, maybe he's not a hologram or something.
His beard.
Well, not only was it his beard,
his haircut.
There's a few other tells that rewatching it now I saw, but number one was he gives Leia a look, and she understands that he's not there. And then when he walks out and he fights Kylo, Kylo does this samurai, and it makes so much sense. Rian Johnson told me that one of the things that he was inspired by was samurai films. What they do with their feet in samurai films is they do this thing to the ground.
Yeah, like sweep it.
Right. That's the reason why we have that beautiful red there. Right. They sweep the ground, and the red would come up. If you notice, Luke does the same thing. Nothing happens to the ground.
Really?
Yeah. And also, when they both pull out their lightsabers, nobody really notices this. This is the first ever, well, besides Rogue One, the first ever Star Wars movie where two lightsabers do not touch each other.
Ooh.
Luke pulls out his lightsaber to fight Kylo, but they ever actually touch.
So strange.
It is.
I can't wait to see this movie again.
So much misdirection in that, but you can also tell that it was Luke the way he looked when he was training Kylo, not Luke back on Octu.
Okay.
So there's
The wrong lightsaber too.
it was also the wrong lightsaber. Yeah. So
Oh,
there's
they don't change colors by will? I want a yellow lightsaber today.
But just putting all that in there, those small story beats.
That's what makes a good storyteller.
That's what makes a good. Yeah,
That
exactly.
way, you don't have to like run around. How is this true? You put that in initially, so you can point them out later.
Yeah, because I wanted to go back and watch. Because I even remember thinking like, oh, but he gives her the dice physically,
Yeah.
but then they disappear.
Like
I
with The
forgot.
Sixth Sense,
Yeah.
when M. Night was putting like red in certain scenes,
Yeah.
and like nobody was actually talking to him.
M. Night would be really good at directing episodes of the new Twilight Zone. I was thinking.
He was going to do Tales of the Crypt.
Was he
Crypt,
really?
But they
That'd be
canceled
great.
that.
He's underrated. I think that people give that guy too much of a hard time because he was ahead of his time.
Well, now he's getting that back with Split and Glass and The Village.
I've never seen Split.
What? You got to see
Yeah.
Split and The Village.
I didn't.
You didn't
I heard
see The Village either,
I haven't
right?
seen The Village. No.
You got to watch it.
I heard-
You gotta
I
watch
heard
it
it's
though.
nice.
It's
What
not
about
as
Lady
bad
in the
as
Water?
The Happening.
No,
What about Lady in the
nothing's
Water?
bad happening.
That's not that great.
No.
No.
But the Jedi Luke, oh man, he has to be the strongest Jedi that's ever lived, right? Like at this point, he was able to force project himself at a completely.
That was
different
like
place.
saying, yeah. Then you could see that it took a lot out of him for sure. And the special effects in this was amazing.
Yeah, and believe it or not, a lot of it was practical.
There was one time where I noticed, and it had like the Justice League problem where the Kylo and Luke thing when they were standing and they did, a direct shot at them, you could see the green screen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you could kind of see like they weren't really in that environment, but that was like the only telling that whole thing.
I also like the fact that we get a full story arc for Poe. His character is this hotshot guy that thinks he knows all the answers.
Yeah.
To the end of the movie, he actually becomes the leader. I love the fact that he actually got a fulfilling story arc. And a fun fact is that Poe was actually originally supposed to die in The Force Awakens. So he convinced J.J. Abrams to keep him in, and I guess it paid off.
Keeping him the only lead Latino right now.
But you know what? Realistically, though, they're probably so happy that they did keep him in after the passing of Carrie Fisher.
Oh, he's great. Also, it was just great because, you were on Poe's side.
Yes,
and,
absolutely.
General Leo was down, and there was this temp, Admiral.
Can you give me some more of your soju?
Sure, you can have the rest. And there was a temp admiral there, and you're like, oh, well, she's going to come in as a cliche woman who just doesn't listen to anyone. But there was always a method to her actions. And
Smart. They were forward thinking. I love it. I love the fact. And Laura Dern has been in she's been in so many of my favorite franchises, like from Jurassic Park to Twin Peaks. Mm-hmm. So I'm so happy that she got a chance to be in the Star Wars universe.
Oh, it was great. Like the women were written so well in this film.
Because Star Wars has always known to have strong female women, and ahead of its time. If you go back and watch the original A New Hope, Carrie Fisher's princess is not your stereotypical princess. She is a badass in her own right, and she was the one pretty much getting all of them out of trouble the whole time. So, I love another character too. We got to talk about is Rose, Kelly Marie Tran, new addition to the Star Wars universe. Personally, I thought me and Ro talked about this initially going in. We thought that the marketing for her, we were like, man, why are they shoving this new character down our throats?
Right.
But then you actually get the story arc with her, and it's such a beautiful story arc. And I love her chemistry with John Boyega.
I do, platonically. I don't know what they were trying to do at the end there.
Yeah, it seems like they're... But also, too, when Rey meets Poe, which I never really realized they never met each other, they give each other, like, this look.
Really?
I think there's this, like, look of lingering, like, hey, I'm nice to meet you, I'm Rey. He's like, oh, I've heard a lot about you, I'm Poe. It's like this, look.
Yeah, like saying, like, I know my boy Finn probably likes you or likes you. It was more like, yeah, I know you. Are
you shipping Finn and Poe though? There's so many people that are shipping Finn and Poe.
We know one of our writers, Sean, is. I'm telling him to go on Tumblr. He'll get all his.
They're great. They're great together. I love their
it's funny how they always bro out, and they met for like 10 minutes in the last movie,
like,
and now
buddy.
they're like best friends forever. I don't care. I love it. It's great. They have good chemistry.
BB-8 also had some big moments in this film. Do you like BB-8? There's certain people that are over BB-8. There's some people that love BB-8. What's your stance on BB-8?
I think we got just enough BB-8 as the film could give us. It wasn't too much and it wasn't too little. I do think movies can tend to get cutesy with the little robot or the little gremlin, or the little alien, or whatever.
Or the porg.
Or the little porg, but it was just enough of everything.
Yeah, I agree. It's just enough of everything. Rian Johnson does a very good job of not giving you too much where you hate it, but he gives you just enough where you're like, yeah, I want to see it. I kind of want to see more.
But you wanted more Chewbacca.
I wanted more Chewbacca. I did want more Chewbacca, but then again, it's like maybe it serves the purpose why I didn't get that much Chewbacca. I'm not complaining that much about it.
And maybe they're trying to just figure out what to do with Chewbacca right now without Han Solo.
The first movie was the first Star Wars movie when they based it. Not the first, but The Force Awakens was based around the Han Solo story. This movie was based around the Luke Skywalker story. The next movie was supposed to be based around the General Leia story. That obviously is going to have to change, and I have a theory on how it can happen. I think we may have wrote an article about it, but I do have a theory on how I think it's going to happen. I also have a theory on what the next animated series is going to be. But that is where we're at. Now, I want to talk about something that we briefly mentioned. Let's talk about Snoke. Because that scene where the lightsaber goes and cuts him in half. Out of nowhere. I didn't see that coming. Me
either. And it reminded me of that scene in Return of the Jedi. I forgot what that dude was called.
The Emperor?
Huh? The Emperor, yeah. And the whole thing, sorry. I told you I'm not a big Star Wars person. I watch the movies and I enjoy them for what they are. But, it reminded me of that whole scene there, but I definitely did not think Kylo was going to go for it.
But you know what was great about that, though, is that letting letting Snoke die in the middle of the film means that nobody's safe, I felt like. When Finn was going to go into the little cannon thing, I was like, oh my God, Finn's going to die. Because...
Oh my God, trying to do like an Independence Day.
Yeah, I was like, no, really, it's like all bets are off. They killed Snoke. What makes me think they're not going to kill Finn?
I told my friend, if Finn dies, I'm going to scream. In the middle of the theater.
But tell me, didn't it seem like he was? Like, it was, and I was like, oh my God.
Poe too. Poe earlier. Yeah. And I was like, if Poe dies right now, I'm going to scream. Because I did not.
Oh my God, Larry Newbill with the big super chat. Stopping by, love The Last Jedi. I've seen Afternoon. Now going back to watch the Chiefs and Chargers. Good luck to the Chiefs. I know you're a Chiefs guy. Thank you so much for the super chat, Larry. Me and him have been talking. I can't wait to see him on in Morphicon. We have so much going on for that.
Can no one else see him? Only you can see him?
Oh, all of us. I mean, he wants to drink with us, so yeah.
Yeah, Larry. So we're going to buy you a drink.
No, we're going to buy him all the drinks.
We're going to buy you all the drinks.
Buy any drinks that
I love Bruz's comment over here in the chat. You guys might think I'm crazy, but when Luke was a hologram and Kylo hit him, I thought he became a Jedi God.
Hey, I don't disagree with that though, because like you don't know what was going on, and that's another cheer moment when you figure out that kind of plot twist happens. I was like, holy! I think I legit said, holy shit, when I saw that. We're probably gonna get flagged for all my language this weekend, but that was amazing.
YouTube better chill out.
Yeah, that's crazy what they're doing.
We're gonna go Facebook exclusive then.
But yeah, man, it was so intense when I thought we were going to lose Finn. I was like, oh my God, they're going to kill Finn.
And there's a testament to you thinking that way. Me thinking that Poe would die, what was that, 20 minutes into the movie, and you thinking Finn would die the last 20 minutes of the movie. Like, we don't feel like our characters are safe.
And that's great storytelling by Rian Johnson. Because I mean, and granted, I know that with JJ, you had to set up the characters.
Yeah.
But in this film, I think that you have to explore the actual storytelling of the characters. And I like the fact that they don't. You're right. Like they don't feel like in a Marvel movie, DC, whatever it may be, in any one of these superhero movies, really, you feel like, okay, well, you're not really going to lose anybody.
Yeah, if Tony Stark did that, you'd be like, no, who's coming in?
Yeah,
around the corner.
Who's going to say, like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So you know that's going to happen. I love that with this, all bets are off. I even thought BB-8 died for a second when the thing explodes and his head goes off flying one way, and I was like, wait, BB-8? And then he just snaps back on.
And his body just comes back. It's like, okay.
But even with, when I was watching Rogue One not too long ago, they make you care so much about these damn droids. I haven't
seen Rogue One yet.
You got to watch it.
I heard it was like a waste of time.
I loved Rogue One. I personally think Rogue One is one of my favorite Star Wars movies, and K2 is probably the best droid there ever was. It's played by Alan Tudyk.
I love the droids. Like CP3O, it's like my homeboy.
I love it. Well, Rob's favorite character, I'm representing Rob right here, is R2D2. It's his favorite Star Wars character of all time.
And he's kind of like not been anywhere.
He's the real life Jezzer. Jezzer's R2D2 in real life.
Oh my gosh.
But no, that was amazing moments. Now, what were some of your bigger letdowns?
Oh man, I don't think
Do you have any?
I don't think I had a giant letdown. Let me stew on that for a minute. Do you have one off the bat?
No, not really. No, I don't. I actually think this movie. The one thing I love about the movie,
I didn't go with any expectations.
I don't think I did either. But the one thing this movie does really well is the pace, the pacing. They're in the act 2 of this film. They do a really good job at intercutting between 3 different storylines that are starting to converge. One is the what's going on the ship with. Oh, we got to talk about Phasma too. But what's going on the ship with Poe? I'm sorry, with Finn and Rose and Phasma. Then you got what's going on with Leia and Poe. Then you got what's going on with Kylo and Rey.
Yeah.
So you got all this kind of intercutting, and it's all building. And I think it's and let's talk about John Williams, man. That guy's a legend, right? Like he enhances this movie so much.
I have John Williams on my Spotify playlist. I listen to that all the time. But I really did like the fact that you kind of got a fake out with Kylo Ren's turn.
Yes.
Like you thought, okay, well he's gonna come back to the good side, to the light, but it wasn't the case after all, which is that's a really good character arc. That's like the same thing with Breaking Bad with Walter White. He wants to be that way. He is that way.
I loved Walter White. I actually was always in Walter White's corner.
Of course you were.
Well, he was never like a bad guy.
He had good reasons at the beginning.
He lost his ways a little.
Yeah.
But then at the core of it, he lost his ways when he got greedy. But at his core, it's like he was doing everything for the right reasons originally. But with Kylo, the only reason.
Why do you think Kylo was so turned though?
Well, I don't know. Well, I think he feels betrayed, but I also knew that Kylo was never going to stay good, mainly because after you kill Snoke, who's your biggest villain at that point? So you have to assume
General Hux?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that scene where he's like, he says something and like Kylo's like, I want to go down there and face him myself, and he says, no, you. And he's like, boom, he hits him, and the guy's like, right away, sir.
But he was totally right. Don't go down there. Don't be distracted. So when Kylo is still just like a child, and it's just.
So Tom has some letdowns. Second act pacing, the forced romance with Rose and Finn. Yeah. But I agree they did such a great job with bouncing back and forth, and the storylines. It was 10 times better than Episode 2. Episode 2 to me is the worst Star Wars movie.
Oh, I didn't watch the prequels. No, I watched the Episode 3. That's it. You know what? I think Episode 3 was my first Star Wars.
Well, you said that.
No, I said Episode 6.
Oh, Episode 6, the Return of the Jedi.
Episode 3.
Revenge of the Sith?
When he killed all those little Jedi children. Oh
the
my
younglings?
God! I was like, what the hell is this?
Have you ever sat down and watched the Jedi in machete order? Or the Star Wars in machete order?
No. Were you talking about this before?
Yeah.
Probably just to me, I don't know.
Watch episode 4 and 5.
I can't do it.
And then 1, 2, 3, and then 6. And I guarantee you it's a better story.
I'm going to have a Star Wars marathon Christmas week.
I
don't know if I'm going to include
It's hard
Anakin.
to get through. It's hard. I would have done it. I tried doing a Star Wars marathon all the way leading up to the week before.
That's what you were talking about.
Yeah, so but I did it chronologically, and I couldn't get through it mainly because timing. Like I had so much going on that I didn't get through. I only had left 3 movies. It was Empire, Return, and The Force Awakens, and I couldn't do it. But it doesn't matter. Last Jedi was amazing. So you don't have any letdowns. Did you figure out if you had any? Was that forced romance maybe?
No, it wasn't a letdown because I don't know where they're going to take that. You know, it could be just a one-sided.
One-sided thing.
Yeah, it could be a one-sided thing. It's good being a casual fan because I don't have as many expectations as hardcore fans do, which we'll talk about the general fan reaction pretty shortly. I just, I had a really good time. I'm going to see it for the second time again because, again, I'm just like, oh, my God, this was amazing. But I really want to go a second time to analyze the story and everything else.
Now, another thing I have to ask, obviously, is not even ask, is kind of state, is that the one thing that Star Wars does really well is that this is a hugely diverse cast. Mm-hmm. And it's not forcibly diverse. Mm-hmm. Which...
To be honest, diversity in films, I mean, we should just get rid of that whole stigma that it's forced. It's forced. Like, I had somebody at my job say how, Spider-Man Homecoming, the diversity feels so forced. And I was just like, nah, that's how my high school looked. You know, there was Asians and Puerto Ricans and black people around and white people. I mean, that's how my high school looked, you know, so that's not like a forced thing. But they do a lot of inclusion in that series. Yes, you're right.
Now, let's talk about fan reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Wait, before we get to that, are you excited for the Han Solo film?
Not really. Not really.
Where is that going to go? Where is that going to be placed? Why is this happening?
Me personally, I think there's other characters that I think are better suited to have solo movies.
I'd rather see a whole like Luke Skywalker School of Jedi prequel
cool. To lead up to that one scene that happens, right? Yeah, that would have been great. Now another one with Sebastian Stan starring as Luke Skywalker. Another one I'd like to see is Boba Fett. I feel like that's another character that you get to see in glimpses. Yeah, but I mean we know
that's in development.
Yeah, so yeah.
They're actually talking about like Michael Fassbender, Boba Fett.
Well, I broke that story 3 years ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been a long time rumor.
The whole thing about that was, so originally about that, not Gareth Edwards, I'm sorry. What's the dude that got fired that did, Josh Trank. Josh Trank originally was, I don't know if anybody even remembers this, I'm sure that they do. Gareth Edwards and Josh Trank were originally hired to do the extended Star Wars universe. And at Star Wars Celebration, Josh Trank got sick and didn't show up. This was also right after the bomb of the Fantastic Four, or right around the drama that was going on with the Fantastic Four, and everyone speculated that he was going to get fired, and he got fired. But everybody says that in development was going to be the Boba Fett movie. Now, one thing that never was disclosed, what movie he was actually working on, but I even think he said himself that it was going to be the Boba Fett movie. Now, from insiders that I knew at the time, Boba Fett was going to be a mantle passed down. And Michael Fassbender was number one for the cast of that. Right. However, I heard that changed somewhere, and it was originally, like a rumor came out that it was going to be Michael B. Jordan, which actually would have been really cool. But, you know, so that's a thing. We don't know now. Hopefully
that's a big age gap.
That's a huge age gap. But, you know, who knows? Who knows what this Boba Fett thing is? Let's see if it is a mantle, if it's not a mantle. There's a lot that needs to be figured out with Boba Fett.
So many Star Wars spinoffs. I'm not sure if all are necessary.
I would love to see, like, you know, characters. You know, that's why I thought Rogue One was so good. Number one, it didn't really have any Jedi in it. It doesn't really have Jedi in it. It has references to the Force. But it's the war of Star Wars. This one actually felt like a war, too. Like, there was strategy. It felt like a war. I like that. I mean,
were you kind of surprised that it all took place in, like, trying to escape, like, this one ship that was coming after them?
No, but I am a little bit more surprised, though, that if you watch The Force Awakens and then watch this, it all takes place within the course of a day.
Yeah.
So that might be my biggest problem, is that that's a lot. That's a hell of a day for the Resistance.
Wow, that really is. Like, Finn recovered pretty quickly, and no, you're sorry. I hate thinking of time frames like that. Yeah. Like, me and Josh were just talking, we're like, The Walking Dead has only taken place in the course of a year, but in The Walking Dead time from season 3, and we're on season 8.
And look how much what's his name, Chandler Riggs has grown.
Yeah, and like the baby Judith has been the baby this entire time, 5 seasons. But that's funny.
Yeah, I think that might be my only problem. But that's the hard part about making film, right? Time gaps. And if anybody knows that better than anybody, it's the X-Men. But they have so many problems. It's true.
I know, right? James McAvoy's like 38 years old, and Professor X is supposed to be 50, 60 in the 90s.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? That is my biggest issue. Now, I do want to talk about fan reaction. Now, this movie did open up on Thursday to the general public. I have seen it already once with the general public. Are you surprised? So it's getting mixed responses.
Yes.
With the general population. What do you feel about that?
I hate it. I hate that we've become such a society based on Rotten Tomatoes, and everyone's a movie critic, and so, you know, jaded and cynical or whatever, pessimistic. And it's just like, I mean, I get it. I go see a DC film. I've been a DC fan since the first Batman came out back in 92.
89?
Oh, yeah, no, sorry, 89. Okay, I didn't see it right off. You're 1 years old, but... Anyway, you know, you get my point. So yeah. I've been a longtime fan for about 20-something years. So when I see, like, like Suicide Squad or whatever, I'm just like, whatever, this was, like, a piece of shit. But I don't know.
We got another super chat. Tom Craven, thanks for doing this. So glad to have space to talk about the movie and not have to worry about spoiling it for anyone else. Ooh! Hashtag Craven is lightsabers. I love it. I'm actually happy. This was a debate whether or not we were going to do a spoiler Star Wars show.
Few days.
I pushed for it. She didn't want it.
I didn't want it. You guys know I took it to the THS hashtaggers. I wanted to give you guys another week, but Joe is right. You guys can watch tomorrow or whenever you see it. But I don't know. It just kind of gets me down because then I have to reevaluate my own review.
Same. I did do the same thing.
Was I watching the same movie? Do I sound stupid because I like it?
So that's interesting. You said that. So I had it literally. As soon as I started seeing that, I was like, man. Was I so enamored with my experience of being at the premiere that I completely was blinded by a movie that wasn't great?
Because we see a lot of movies,
right?
And
so then I rewatched it. And I was like, "What? I don't understand." So I was listening to a podcast, which I'm not going to name, but it's a hardcore Star Wars fan base podcast, and their biggest complaint about the film was that was essentially what they didn't want to happen, and everyone crapped all over The Force Awakens because it was a dumbed down retrend of A New Hope, and I think that hardcore fans maybe were expecting this to be a retrend of Empire, and it wasn't because it could easily have taken those tropes to be Empire, but then it changes in a heartbeat to being like, nope, that's not what this is. I love the fact that this movie is a Star Wars movie that stands alone as, no, this isn't A New Hope, this isn't Return. It has elements of Return of the Jedi in it to me, but
no, for sure.
I love the fact that it leaves it open for whatever's to come next to be its own.
And we don't really know.
I have a good idea, though. I have a really good idea.
Leia is alive at the end, and as we all know, unfortunately, Carrie Fisher is not. So what's going to happen with that character?
I have an idea. I'll pitch that stuff.
I like Russ' comment, and this would happen in my showing too. He was like when Kylo said, "I want you to fire all your weapons on that man." At the end of that, he was left standing. Everybody just went crazy.
And I love that Luke's just like,
yeah, he's like, "What else you got?"
That was amazing. So there's a couple things about that. Number one, I was like, well, Luke just sacrificed himself. He's dead. And then the other one was, and I thought that maybe it was just going to be like just the cloak and he was going to be gone.
Yeah.
And then he's standing there. I was like, what the hell's happening? And then he fights, and then once he does that swipe, I was like, is he a Jedi? I thought the same thing.
He's the Jedi God.
Or then I was like, what? How is this happening? And then you see the flashback. It's like, oh my god, that was a jaw drop moment for me. I also love the fact though that Kylo hates this dude so much.
I know.
Like, and he does not let up on that hate.
Because he's just a reminder.
But a great thing too is that Kylo, you still see he does have conflict, which
that's why he wants to get rid of him.
But he hesitates on killing his mom.
Oh yeah.
When he flies by and he's like, he can't do it. He can't pull the trigger.
No one can really kill their mom. Their dad, they're just like, all right, whatever. But in all these films and stuff, I had a question. Oh yeah, did you like the fact that like Rey and Kylo were kind of speaking like the way they were with the Force?
If Bro's talking about, he says that one other person died. I already talked about Admiral Akbar. He was awesome. Admiral Akbar does die. Anyway, sorry. What were you saying?
No, I'm talking about when Kylo when Kylo and Rey were doing it like Jedi mind conversation. When they first did that was really off-putting to me. I was like, I don't think I like this at all.
It was a little strange. I had to get used to it a little bit. Mm-hmm. I think the thing that was so strange for me was when she goes down into the pit and she sees like the hundreds of her or whatever.
Oh yeah.
It was a very trippy scene. Like it reminded me of like when in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory when they go into the tunnel and you see all this craziness happening. It just reminded me of that.
It's like, ooh, I'm glad I didn't get high or anything first.
Oh, so I don't think Phasma's dead. I know that
Captain Phasma's dead. Come on.
You think Phasma's dead?
He's wearing a whole metal like suit and fell in a pit of fire. But you think he's gonna come out like half metal, half
I don't
human?
think. I think that I think that suit protects her. Because when they were shooting her, it just would bounce off of her.
I mean, that would be a waste of. I can't say the actor. I don't know. It would be a waste of a character.
I think she's such a badass character. We got to see her in the next movie.
I don't know what they were doing with that whole plot thing. That was probably one of the weak points.
Phasma? I agree.
Phasma
Both
and
movies.
Finn. Yeah. I wanted something a little more like heavy with those two.
Well, you also want to give Phasma a big moment. I don't think she's had a big moment in either one of these movies.
Yeah. The fight scene was short between them.
It's almost, and it harkens back to Boba Fett because Boba Fett never really gets a big moment.
No, what is it, like some kind of cartoon throw or something? Yeah. He like dies into a
it's
monster
literally
mouth or
like
something?
I think it's Han Solo's blinded and he turns and the guy falls into the pit. It's like the Benny Hill music should play.
Yeah.
Like dun, 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 dun. It's
like, oh, what happened to that guy.
Yeah, I don't think Phasma's dead. I also think that Phasma will return. I think you got to give Phasma a payoff because you have such a cool looking character that fans want to have a big payoff. Suit. It's a great suit.
Maybe that'll be my next cosplay.
And then that Sarah would be a great Phasma.
Yeah.
But I love Phasma. She might be aesthetically my favorite looking character.
Oh my god, bro says I hope Phasma comes back and kills Finn. That's dark.
I don't want Finn to die. Maybe like a random rebel soldier.
Oh my god.
But I don't know about Finn. But back to the general audience experience.
Mm-hmm.
People are polarized on this film.
I mean, again, like we talked about earlier, they didn't want to see something that was a retread of the old film, so Ryan gave them something different, and they didn't like that. A lot of people didn't like the Finn and Rose scenes, and they felt like the story wasn't really there, and I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that I think people have been trained so much expecting that this was going to be Empire, and it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a good thing. I also think that the way that this movie ends sets up a couple different things. Number one, it tells you this movie could have ended, and it could have. You don't need another Star Wars Episode 9. This could have ended, and I would have been fulfilled.
Yeah, this actually seemed like it could have been 9, actually.
Yeah, and because the ending is so beautiful with the little kid, like it gives you a sense of hope that there's
which is the core theme.
The core theme of this movie is all about hope, and we need Luke back to the Resistance to instill hope. Mm-hmm. And this kid having his little rebel ring. And the silhouette of him, like with a broom, and him using the Force to get the broom. So here's my theory about what the next Episode 9 is.
Okay.
Number one, it has to be a time jump.
Okay.
Because there's two reasons why. Number one, you can do in the beginning crawl that Leia passes away peacefully.
Okay.
And Poe.
Decent.
Luke says something very important at the end of this film. He says, Kylo says, the Resistance is dead, the Jedi's dead, all this other stuff, and he says. Number one, he says the Resistance is born today. And then you get a shot of Poe. Mm-hmm. And the great thing about that is they set up Poe's story arc that he's this guy that needs to learn how to be a leader. And they even set it up where he's like, I can get a way out of here. And Leia looks and says, well, what are you looking at me for? Let's follow him. That, to me, is that passing of the torch.
And he wanted that leadership position when she was down for the count.
Exactly. And then you see a sign that the war has just begun. And then you see a close-up on Finn. And then you're wrong. I'm not the Last Jedi. And then it's a close-up on Rey. And I think those are your three new characters.
They're not new.
Well, three characters that are leading this generation of Star Wars fans. And I think that in the next movie, if you do a time jump, maybe like 10, 15, 20 years even, that now at this point you have to assume that Rey, since she took all the Jedi books, is going to start her own Jedi, Jedi Order with the Padawans. And that kid possibly could be in that Jedi Order with a bunch of other Force-sensitive people. So, because the thing is, you want Rey to come back at her height as a Jedi. And you want to see her go up against Kylo Ren's First Order. Not Snoke's First Order, but Kylo Ren's First Order.
But is it earned for her to master the whole Jedi? And, who's going to help her now?
Well, that's the key.
I
think that's the key. I think the thing that happened... Well, same thing with Luke, right? Luke didn't really get much training. He had Yoda on Dagobah.
But Yoda's like the... MVP.
But we also know that they can come back because especially how you lose... The Force gets taken to a whole new level in this movie. To say that they can't still train under them. And she can read the books. She has all the books there. She can read the text. So, and another thing that Yoda even says is that, our version of the Jedi Order hasn't died. Doesn't mean that she already knows everything she needs to know. Mm-hmm. So they're saying then that,
He's like street smarts instead of book smarts.
Right. And Rey has it. So maybe this is just Rey. So we have Rey's Jedi against Kylo's First Order. You got the future right there. And then I think at the end of it all, and this is going to be not a controversial statement, but people are like, oh. So at the end of Episode 6, you see 3 Force Ghosts. You see Anakin, you see Obi-Wan, and you see Yoda. I think at the end of Episode 9, you're going to see Luke, Leia, and Han.
Can you read the comment that Jalen put?
Migdalia, I'm thinking about adding you to my murder mystery TV show. You're strong, confident, independent, beautiful. You'd be perfect for the show. What?
Thanks, Jalen.
You want to...
I wanted you to just read that.
Why?
Because because I wanted you to do the honors of reading it.
You could have just read it.
Yeah, but I wanted you to read it, and you read it because I'm a strong, confident, independent woman.
Whatever you say.
Jedi mind trick.
Well, let's pitch this murder mystery TV show. You down? You're going to be in the murder
I'll be
mystery?
in it.
All right, you already
He's
agreed.
been pitching it on THS hashtaggers, which, Jalen, you're not in this industry. You probably shouldn't put all your, ideas out.
Because we just stole them. We just stole them and repurposed them.
It's going to be, open season for Joe.
No, I don't take people's ideas. I have my own ideas that we're working on. What ideas did I take? What ideas did I take? Say it.
No, don't
say
worry.
it. Just say it.
No, number one, I can't remember. I don't keep a running tally.
You're crazy.
I know, but you're funny.
Why?
You're
What
crazy.
ideas did you say?
Crazy.
No, I'm just. Read what I just wrote.
I think that. Shut up! You're such a dick. Josh the troll must be Vigo.
Anyway, yeah. So that's what we thought about The Last Jedi. You want to take calls?
Yeah, hook that.
Can we take calls?
Up.
Huh?
Oh, we can actually do it on the computer now.
This computer?
We have been upgraded.
Yeah, with the computer from.
Jalen, call and do some impressions for Joe. Who's your favorite character?
I don't know. Leonardo from the Ninja Turtles.
Can you do Ninja Turtles, Jalen?
All right, so let's.
Monster X5 says Kylo is still conflicted because he doesn't have the Sith yellow eyes yet.
But I don't know about that.
Wait, is the Sith even a thing in this?
I mean, they're not called the Sith because technically, neither did what's his name, Snoke. And we don't know if it's a Sith or anything like that.
So who do you think?
Good night, Tom. Have a good night. May the Force be with you always.
Who do you think Andy Serkis is going to perform as now?
Nobody.
A tree.
Andy Serkis is done with the franchise, I think. I actually think that what they're going to do for the animated series, because after Rebels is done, which is done this year,
animated series.
I think they're going to do a movie or a show that's going to take place between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, which is going to be the rise of the First Order and the backstory of Snoke, along with other things, obviously.
Excuse me, watch me put that.
Along with other things, but I think that that's going to be the big storyline going forward.
Need a troll? You can cast Josh. Pay the troll toll.
I thought our troll was Jezer.
He's one of our trolls. We can have more than one, and we do have more than one.
Who else is a troll?
We have Josh, Keith, and...
Keith is a troll?
Keith trolls on me. And Jezer.
Jezer's...
Where's Carlos Martinez been? I think he's hiding because he doesn't want to talk about the movie.
Oh, and because he's a bully, he's a cyber bully?
You too. Goodness gracious.
Josh is just jealous. Jalen, you need to troll Josh. You can cast Josh. If you need a troll, you can cast Josh. Hold on. I can you grab me my charger from my...
All right, guys. So get ready to call in with your thoughts on the Star Wars The Last Jedi. Also, earlier today, we talked about the Fox Marvel deal, so you can comment on that. But please do not call and sit on dead air for 30 seconds to a minute, because we will hang up.
You'll hang up.
No, you hang up, too, on people.
I don't hang up on anybody.
Yes, you did.
Who?
You hung up on, George, what's his face?
We don't even have a guy named George that watches us.
No, we were talking about George's earlier. You hung up on Robert that one time.
No, it was by accident, though.
Oh, you accidentally went like this?
Well, we had another call. So what are you excited to see next for the Star Wars franchise going forward? Next, we're going to open it up to general discussion.
I do want to see, I don't know. I really want to see more Luke, because...
Well, that's going to be a little harder now that he's one with the Force.
Yeah, but like you just said, Yoda's come back quite a few times since he dusted off into the sky. Did you expect that to happen to Luke?
Nope, I did not at all, actually. when
wait, what just happened?
When he kind of recovers,
yeah,
I'm like, okay, he's safe,
right.
And then he kind of disappears. Like, what?
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I was like, this whole epic scene just happened. I haven't recovered from that, and he's just disappearing and Leia's like, oh. And who else does that? They felt it. Was it Rey? Yeah.
That I was like, wait, what? They're killing off Luke? Because the whole hype is that Luke is so. Oh man.
And no one said use the Force, but they were all like, "May the Force be with you." And it always, because I grew up Catholic, I always remember the church thing. It was like, No, wait, I forgot what it was.
What are you talking about right now?
Okay, in Catholic Church, every time they say "May the Force be with you,"
They don't say "May the Force be with you."
Yes, they do.
No, in the Catholic Church they do not say.
No, in Star Wars, but it's something like that. The Catholic Church, they're like,
and also with you, may God be with you, and also with you.
Yeah.
It's something like that, or it's. I know because I grew up Catholic too, but I know that it's something like that.
I always think about that when they say "May the Force be with you," and also with you.
All right, so that's our Star Wars discussion. We want to hear what you guys have to say about the movie.
Monster says the yellow eyes represent rage and proves you're a part of the dark side. Snoke didn't have to show it because he was already powerful.
But we don't know how Snoke got powerful, or if Snoke was even a Sith.
Yeah, we need a Snoke prequel.
One thing that they never talk about in this film at all is Sith. They talk about Jedi, they just never reference Sith.
No. Or in the last film, right?
I don't think so. I mean, they
just always talk about Jedis.
I think they always just talk about
Jedis. Not the opposition
Jedis.
to that. Which I guess would be the First Order. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the First Order. Just kidding. I don't know, man. This movie.
Would you be part of the First Order or the Resistance?
The Resistance. I'm not a First Order guy.
He is at that hashtag show. Just kidding.
I am.
What do you think Josh should be?
First Order. Easy.
Greg.
There is
you
no
would not
Grey.
be a Jedi. There is a gray Jedi. There is a such thing. Hold on. What's military time for 7 p.m.? 20?
1900.
How did you know that so quick?
Because I have to work with military time in production.
Yes. So what else were you saying?
No, I think that was just that we're ready. Are we ready for Skype?
Should be.
All right, guys. Please, that hashtag show, right? Please come and find us at that hashtag show. If you're a frequent caller, you already know what the tag is.
But Migdalia had a good point, though. What was it?
What?
If you call in.
Oh, if you call in, please have something to say. We're talking Star Wars The Last Jedi, reactions, thoughts, theories. If you want to do a quick shout out about the Fox Marvel deal, which we talked about during the Infinity Watch, I'd like to hear your thoughts on that too.
What are your thoughts on that? I didn't.
It's crazy, and I'm intrigued, and let's see what happens. Deadpool's safe, obviously. I'd be happy if Gambit got scrapped.
Yeah, I think we'd all be happy if Gambit got scrapped.
And I think it's probable. Not probable. I think it's a done deal. I don't think it's going to get made at this point.
Do you want to see Gambit scrapped mainly because you don't want to see Channing Tatum?
I don't feel like there's a need for a Gambit film.
Ever.
No.
Of ever?
No, he hasn't even been in the X-Men films except for Origins. Like, there's so many other characters that could have a solo film. Magneto, Professor X, Storm.
Storm, yes. I agree with that. I don't know if I'd want to see a Magneto Professor X movie.
No?
No.
You wouldn't want to see a Magneto movie? Everyone's been saying they would love to watch a movie of just Magneto killing Nazis.
No.
Like a 2-hour movie of that.
No.
Why not no?
Because that would like, it would be dumb because it was like his whole thing is that he hates Nazis. He needs a reason to hate them. He wouldn't take out revenge on them. He needs a reason to hate humanity. Like, because to me
What the hell are you talking about? That was like a whole sequence in First Class.
That's a whole fulfilling storyline that at that point he would get his rage out and he wouldn't be the way he is. I don't think you need that. You have to have something to drive to something more. I personally think there's other characters. I agree. Storm would be great to get a solo movie.
But me and Danny were talking. We're excited that the possibility of Storm going to Black Panther 2 that could be in the sequel.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Why not?
Black Panther 2? I think it's gonna be too soon. I think what they're gonna do.
Black Panther 2 that will be like in 2021.
So, but here's the thing: you also have to make sure, like, if you're gonna introduce her in this movie, you got to do it in a way that she has to tie into the X-Men. Like, she has to tie into the X-Men. So, personally, I think that the way that they start off that universe is with the Starjammers.
The X-Men has to be introduced first.
Well, I think just the Starjammers need to be introduced first. I think that if you introduce the Starjammers and with the space stuff, it'll make the most sense. After that, what I would do is start integrating the X-Men in different properties, because then you can tell. The Starjammers essentially tells the origin of Scott Summers and Havoc, Scott and Alex Summers. So you don't have to worry about them. Then after that, you can start going into everything else.
Monster X5 Dark Phoenix is not getting canceled. They're not going to do away with anything that's done.
Dark Phoenix 2, though, was the rumor, and that might be getting canceled.
There was a Dark Phoenix 2? I never heard about that.
All right, so we got a phone call from, you like trolls, right? Let's hear it. Troll, you there?
Hold
I
on.
don't know how this works.
Hold on. I turned it on. Hello?
Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, you troll. Hey.
Aziz, is that you?
Aziz, do I hit this thing?
Hold on a second. Does this even
Did I hit
plug?
that thing?
Is this plugged? Oh. I don't think there's anything going from this to the laptop, though.
Yeah.
No, the cord's right here. All right.
Hey, you here? Can you hear us?
Yeah.
He's in a car. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, where are you going?
Where am I going?
Yeah, why you sound like you're in a car.
Oh, because I just took my friend up from the airport.
Hey, can I tell a story about how you hit me with your car last Friday?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
This idiot, Jezzer, it's Jezzer on the line, this moron. So we all went to go eat last Friday. What were we doing? Our hashtag holiday party.
Tatsu.
Yeah, so we all went to go eat, and Jezzer, like, I'm pull out behind him. I stop for a second just to look at something. This idiot runs right into me. And then he's like freaking out. I'm like, dude, I just was like laughing the whole time because I was like, what a moron.
I hit his car.
Yeah, I know.
I have the suction cup, so next time I'm there, I'll pull it out.
This.
Because there was nothing, there's literally nothing on my car. It's weird. I don't know if I have like a steel beam in the bumper.
You have a transformer.
Huh?
You're driving a transformer.
Yeah.
It's great. He legit. You should see the damage on my car. It's actually
I saw.
decently bad.
It's not like even like he tapped it. It was
He
like
hit
he
it.
pressed on the gas and just bumped into you.
He stopped and I looked and I was like, he knows I'm here. Well, he's not gonna hit me, is he? And then I was like, he's gonna stop. And then he just hit me. And I was like, what the hell?
Your car was super low, and it was dark, and I couldn't see you.
That's what she said.
Oh man. No, we are not going to be doing another stream on The Last Jedi tomorrow. We are going to be possibly doing on Pop Culture Renegades, our sister station, possibly doing a stream on net neutrality. Neutrality. Say it again.
Neutrality.
Are you guys gonna do a pork taste testing?
A what?
Pork taste testing.
We should do pork taste testing.
No.
Yeah. It's a good idea. Pork taste testing. Daniel eat anything.
That's what you.
So Jezzer, what's going on? What did you want to talk about this week?
No, I just want to suggest the pork taste testing.
That's what you wanted to call in for, the pork taste testing.
Yep.
All right.
Great. It's gonna be great.
All right. Well, when are we going to see you back in the studio?
The 20th.
Oh yeah, we're doing our hashtag Horror Picture Show one-off episode.
What is it about?
20th anniversary of Buffy.
Oh yeah, I remember that. And then, which is now owned by Disney. Great. All right. We'll talk to you soon. Bring in your phone calls if you want to talk to us about the Fox deal or your thoughts on Star Wars: The Last Jedi, or the Fox deal is a big thing now that Fox has Buffy the Vampire Slayer, new Disney princess. We also have Firefly.
Aliens, Predator. X-Files.
Yeah, which is crazy. There's
American
so many.
Horror Story.
Avatar. The Simpsons. So there's so many franchises now that are, oh man, Fox or Disney owns. I think I was reading they own like 27%.
But that was the surprising part because like Fox is not one of those studios that needed this kind of money.
Okay, Kat's calling. Hi, Kat. How are you?
Hey guys, I'm good.
Hey.
I'm so tired though.
Me too.
What are you so tired for?
I don't know.
No, I'm talking to you, Migdalia.
It snowed again last night, so I'm like.
I do not miss snow. That's the one thing I don't miss about the East Coast.
Really? Well. Migdalia, you know what, Kat? I do want to bring up a subject. Migdalia has a date to the Angel Grove High School prom.
No, I do not.
Well, you do, because I saw there's a video of it. Josh can play the video if you want. But, Kat, who are you going with?
I don't know, because I still don't know if I'm going.
What do you mean?
I keep reminding myself, like, I've got to figure out what I'm doing in the next 8 months.
I heard that you're going with Carlos Martinez. No, is that not true? I read it on the internet.
Don't listen to Joe.
I read it on the internet. I think I saw Ernie's stream. Is that not a thing? It was on our Twitch channel.
She's going to punch you in the face, and I will fully support it.
Anyway, Migdalia, have fun with Derek Hervey. And, so, Kat, what's going on? What did you think about The Last Jedi?
I haven't seen it. My brother hasn't even seen it yet.
What?
Her brother hasn't seen it.
Well, what are you looking forward to about The Last Jedi or the Disney Fox deal?
I think I'm kind of happy that we finally get the X-Men back in the Marvel MCU. That's all I'm happy about.
Which X-Men are you most excited to see return home?
Ooh, I think I'm excited for Storm to come back, honestly.
Who would you like to play Storm? Alexander Shipp was very vocal on Twitter recently.
I know, she was like, oh, it's funny how you guys think I'm going to be recasted, and everyone went ham on her.
Yeah. Well, because she was taking a lot of heat for, they said that she looks racially ambiguous for Storm, and she was taking a lot of heat for that.
That's been a complaint for the last 20 years, starting with Halle Berry.
Who would you like to see as Storm? I know we did our fan cast.
Naomi Harris.
Yeah. And Gugu Mbatha, his wife chose.
She's also one of those ethnically ambiguous people.
Skin, yeah. All right, so who would? So you're most excited to see Stormcat?
Yeah.
Well, perfect. Anything else you want to add to this? Hey, is that Daryl on your wall? I think I see Daryl back there.
No, I keep forgetting I actually have to I'm reminding myself to Christmas I have to start feeling like all my stuff off my wall, and I'm like, my room's gonna look so bare.
Wait, is that Harry Styles that I see back there? I think that's Harry Styles. It is Harry Styles.
Oh my goodness.
That's Harry Styles. Harry Styles, Daryl. That's interesting. Interesting. All right, Kat, thank you so much for calling in. We will see you next week. Hopefully, we'll talk to you soon. Guys, hit us up. What's our thing?
That hashtag show.
That hashtag show right here on Skype if you want.
Jalen, this was your time to call.
Yes, give us this impression. Serenity,
Robert
always
Luerda, who always calls like 5 times in a row at the end of the show.
Andy from the DC. Daniel was just on Andy's podcast. He does all the DC shows.
Oh, that's that Andy.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'd love to hear from Andy. I met him at Comic-Con actually this last year. Randomly.
Comic-Con is going to be so interesting with this deal.
Well, yes, because I agree. You got, man.
What's going to happen now?
Do you think that I mean, I don't think they're even going to get rid of the name Fox.
No. Also, they still have the Fox lot, but everyone's like, what's going to happen to that because all the overhead and
Disney West or Disney
doesn't
South.
want the lot.
They don't?
Mm-mm.
Interesting.
They said Fox can keep that.
Well, maybe they just do Fox Sports out of that lot. Right?
I guess. It's such a historical part of LA. It's like crazy. It's one of the big 6 studios.
Not anymore.
I know.
Now Netflix is going to be one of those big 6 studios.
We'll see. They still got to climb out of some debt. But
Netflix?
Yeah, they have major debt, but...
Well, $90 million to make Bright.
So did Trump and Marvel, so... Yeah, $90 million for Bright. I wonder how that's
I didn't like it.
I heard.
I did not like it.
Too fantastical for you?
No, it's... Literally, I actually think I was asleep 50% of that movie.
Oh, okay. Well, jeez.
I mean, it's Will Smith playing Will. Oh shit!
Why does everyone?
I can't
say
actually
that?
say anything about this.
Yeah,
movie.
and I was like, wait,
I'm embargoed.
An embargo?
I can't even say I saw. I didn't see the movie.
I think you say you saw it, but you can't.
I can't.
Do it.
Not until like the 20th.
Oh shit.
Oh well. So much for that. Anybody else want to call in? We are here taking your phone calls right here live on hashtag After Dark. Talking
After
Star Wars,
Dark.
The Last Jedi, or the Disney.
So are we going to be coming back
Spectrum.
next week, or it's Christmas weekend?
Is it Christmas weekend?
It is, 23rd. I mean, I think we're going on hiatus for the Infinity Watch.
It depends on who wants, on our cast, who wants to be here. I'll probably be here.
I mean, I'll be in town.
Yeah, we'll do it. Well, you know what? Let's do a next week's show. We should make it a drinking show.
With a Christmas theme, like people calling it their
Die
Christmas.
Hard. So here's what. No, fuck Die Hard. So here's what we do.
No, not fuck Die Hard, but
we're not gonna watch
this
Die Hard.
debate here.
I think what we should do.
Mystery Theater Die Hard.
No, we're not doing Die Hard. We should do though. We should pick a classic Christmas movie and do a drinking game, and watch it live as we're doing the commentary for it. And it's open to all of our cast members, so any one of the 13 of us that are wanting to do it.
But it'll be the same 3 or 4.
Let's
be real.
It'd probably be you and me, and maybe like Sam or somebody watch. and it's or maybe Rob. Oh no, Rob's not back in town yet.
It's back in January.
So yeah, that's what'll happen. We'll be doing that. We will be doing what else? Do we want to do anything else?
I can't think of right now, but I'll start brainstorming.
Yeah.
What movie do you think you would have in mind?
Well, there's a few. I mean, if we could go the Die Hard route, another Christmas movie, in my opinion, is Iron Man 3.
I think we should go for a bad Christmas movie.
Weren't
you doing
no,
like a list?
we should do the one with Goldberg. Santa Sleigh. We should do or Krampus.
Black Christmas.
We should do Krampus.
Santa Claus conquers the Martians.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We should do something like that. Like, it has to be something like that. And we do the commentary, but we'll also play drinking games on it. Does Adventures in Babysitting take place during Christmas or New Year's? I've never seen. Rob was trying to hype me up on it.
I want to say New Year's.
I think it's New Year's Serenity, but Rob was trying to get me to watch it. I heard it's really good. The Adventures in Babysitting.
Serenity, weren't you supposed to like start calling into the show?
Serenity, call in once. Serenity, call in. I want to hear. Actually,
Andy's trying. Oh.
Andy's trying. Andy, call in, buddy.
Call in and I'll sing you a song.
But anyway, will you really sing? We should do. Oh man, that'd have been fun too.
Say what karaoke?
We should do
Christmas challenges.
Christmas challenges has to be the theme of it, right?
On the same word Jedi.
So I think that we should do Christmas challenges. That'll be the contest.
Do you guys have any ideas of what we should do for next week?
Porg eating contest.
No.
Trying the porg.
Listen, if Chewbacca's not eating the porgs, I'm not eating the porgs.
What else do we want to do? Oh, we do got to call Andy. Somebody's here. I think. I just accepted it.
It's a closet monster.
What's that? I can't accept it, dude. Oh, here we go. What up, Andy? How you doing, buddy?
Dancing.
What up? I don't know why I haven't called him before, but I'm glad I'm finally doing it. I was just waiting, like, why haven't they accepted my request? I'm sending in my contact request, and then I'm like, oh crap, I can actually probably just call them. Maybe that's why.
Yes.
You can. And now, Andy, for those that don't know that are in the chat room, please give us a rundown of the podcast you do and how you do them and what days they air on. Give us a good plug for all of them.
You're too sweet. I blush every time you give me a shout out every time I end the chat. I'm like, Joe, it's not like I'm paying you to say all these things.
No, you have, but let's be honest, you have the best DC universe podcasts out there today, and I think people should know about them.
Well, I really appreciate it. I run a network called DC Podcast that is, I think we're right now, we have 9 shows in our network. We have a show for basically almost every DC show that's on except Gotham. We had one last season, but
Gotham
they ended,
hater.
so...
Gotham hater. There's so many Gotham haters.
I'm a huge supporter of Gotham. I've loved Gotham since season 2, and now I'm the one who's having to convince people like you should watch it. It's like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. all over again. I'm like, I know season 1 is kind of sucky.
Yeah.
But, just watch it. But yeah, I co-host the Flash podcast that I've done for almost, my God, 5 years now. That's kind of crazy. And then I'm also doing the Times podcast, which I started a few months ago. And then, so we have Quiver to being our podcasts, Flash podcast, Supergirl Radio, Legends of Tomorrow podcast, iZombie Radio.
Oh, you're even doing iZombie.
Yeah, we have iZombie as well. Like I was initially against iZombie. Like I didn't like it as a show. Like when I saw the trailer, and then last year I'm like, hey, I'm just gonna watch an episode, and then I was binging the whole weekend, and then I'm like, I found some people that wanted to do a podcast about it. I'm like, so remember that time when I kind of crapped all over iZombie? Yeah, don't remember that.
Now, Andy, are you also going to be doing Titans as that airs coming up on the DC streaming network? Are you also going to be doing the Harley Quinn animated one?
We we don't do much for animation. We usually do it either as special edition episodes of just as DC podcast, because animation just hasn't really been big for DC in terms of television for the past couple of years. Young Justice is coming back, and we're probably going to cover that on the Times podcast because. I'm just going to admit it. We were all selfish and we were like, well, we want to talk about Young Justice on this podcast too, so screw everyone else. But Harley Quinn, we might do something. Maybe something small. But the thing is, because we don't know anything about the streaming servers, I'm like, I don't even know, are they going to release episodes weekly or a whole season or something? I don't know.
What about The Watchmen when that hits HBO?
I'm sure we'll do something.
That's going to be a big one. That's Damon Lindelof, who did Leftovers and Lost. He's executive producer over there on the Watchmen.
I'm looking forward to that one. I'm expecting there to be news around the TCAs in January, Television Creators Association, because
that's we got to go there.
That's when they love to plug their new shows or whatever and so on. So I'm sure. I think they even have someone. I think they've probably cast someone, but they're just really good at keeping it tight.
Well, we do next week have some Watchmen news, so be on the lookout for that.
Of course,
nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. I will preface that. But we do have something about that. We also have. Andy, you have some I know that you have a Titans exclusive that you're going to be dropping soon, right?
I do.
He's like cautious.
Oh yeah, you mean that thing?
Yeah.
Joe, I promise you, it's been such a busy 2 weeks for me that I don't even remember if I've had breakfast for the past month or something. I don't even know if I'm eating anymore. That's how my crazy has been.
Well,
for
you're
me.
still alive, so you're eating something.
So, yeah, no, I guess I got an exclusive or something.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Let me know when you release it.
Oh yeah, I will get you back up on that. I know I knew it somewhere in the back of my mind, but yeah, I'm really forgetful these days. So, but yeah, hopefully very soon. But I mean, all the comments that you're giving me, Joe. So, I mean, you guys have been doing such a kick-ass job, and so you're doing a fantastic show. When I had Daniel on the Flash a couple days ago, I had this big intro written about him and so on, and I meant to say that you guys are becoming one of my favorite sources of entertainment. So yeah,
thank you,
guys,
man.
I mean,
thanks.
All the way you're saying about us and so on, I mean, you guys are. I mean, I can only bow and just be you guys are killing it.
We both are, Andy. Don't be so modest. You're doing a great job over there holding that down for DC. Now, I do got to ask though, my friend, have you seen The Last Jedi?
I have, and I love that. I don't know what Twitter is going all about, but Twitter is Twitter, and anyone who neglects to see how great this film is, I'm like, don't be the Grinch of Star Wars. We don't need that.
Yeah.
Especially around this time.
Christmas.
And no, it was great. It's definitely my favorite Star Wars movie.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. I think it's a great film. Now, another question I have for you. I know that you do everything mostly on the DC side of things. What do you think about the Disney Fox deal?
I will say that I'm overwhelmed. I mean, I do run the mall report and so on, and even I'm kind of just a little, because this could go so right, but this could also go so wrong at the same time, because it's I mean, we're gonna have to wait a whole year till they can actually do something, right? Because of the whole clearing process or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also think that Disney has to pay $2 billion if it gets blocked by the FCC.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so additional. So addition to all the money that they were paying already for this deal, they also have to.
No, it's like a contingency.
It's a contingency plan. So Disney has to pay $2.6 billion if the FCC blocks their merger, and also if either one of the companies pull out of the deal within the next year. I think there's also the company has to pay the other company $6 billion or something. It's pretty crazy.
Well, I'm glad I'm just a reporter and not having to I only have to report about these things, and that's a lot of money. And I mean, a part of me is of course excited to see the prospect of what the Fantastic Four and the X-Men would look like in the MCU, but at the same time, I'm almost terrified they're going to push other things out. Even though the Inhumans TV show was all sort of craptastic, I don't want prominent Inhumans characters like Daisy Johnson and possibly Ms. Marvel one day and so on to be pushed out just because they have the X-Men back and so on. So it's there's always an ups and downs. I don't think they can satisfy everyone, and that's why I'm just so afraid of well, what are we going to lose because we got the X-Men and Fantastic Four back?
That's a fair point, because the Inhumans got pushed to TV because
they
Marvel
didn't have the X-Men.
Well, no, because Marvel got Spider-Man, so they had to push the Inhumans out of that.
Well, I mean, and also because Kevin Feige never wanted to do.
Right, that was his cop out, but this is what he had.
Here's another thing too, and this is more up your alley. How do you feel about Batman '66 now being a property of Disney?
Well, see, that's why I was freaking out Migdalia and Daniel earlier.
Yes,
in Infinity War, because I'm just gonna leave this here and then walk away and see how they do. And I take out my headphones and I just hear them shouting. I'm oh no, what did I do? What did I do? I broke something. And no, but it's kind of funny now, because I mean, one of the reasons why Titans had to be done as a cable show, a streaming show, is because they can't do Batman on broadcast. And now I'm oh crap, now Disney owns somewhat the Batman television rights in some ways, which is kind of hilarious.
That's crazy. Just thinking about that though is pretty mind-boggling to me. So I'm looking forward to Titans, and before we go, I want you to let us know. Okay, so we had a lot of the costume drops recently with a couple, or maybe last week was Robin, this week Hawk and Dove. Talk to me real quick about what you saw when you first saw those costumes.
I had some sort of awakening going on when each costume was dropped. I'm like, this feels too good to be true. Like, look, I love the Arrowverse, but after 5 years of all that leather / fake leather, whatever crap they're putting on, whatever, it's like, look at this. It's full out, blown out combo costumes with armor and like movie material. Like I was flabbergasted.
Yeah,
I mean,
this
is what we're getting for Robin and Hawk and Dove. I mean, imagine what we're getting for Starfire and Raven and
Beast Boy. I'm really excited to see what Beast Boy looks like. Really excited. Because I want to see. I can't wait to see what Beast Boy looks like.
I guess it's gonna probably be, I'm guessing it will be what he's currently having in the comics, like the red and white suit, because I mean he's gonna be an animal most of the time, right? It's like, I mean, how often will we see the costume? That's kind of what I'm.
But will he be green?
About.
Will he be green? It will Starfire be orange.
I mean, we have Jeff Johns we trust. I'm sure he's going to, do it justice either way. But
Jeff Johns, you trust. I don't trust in Jeff
Didn't he get
Johns.
demoted to a supervisory position recently?
Yeah, I mean, all right, that's a whole other topic. Yeah. The whole DC debacle, the film universe. I will say Jeff Johns can write the shit out of comics. He's a great comic writer.
Well, he's also a little bit of TV though. I would like if you look at some some of the best episodes of Flash that was from him. And,
true, but also he was one of the producers, one of the main producers for the Green Lantern movie.
Now, listen. Green Lantern, I blame it all on that, whatever the James Bond that he picked. Because I read a draft of that, an earlier draft of that script.
Oh, I agree.
Before he came on, and it was so good.
No, I agree. I actually talked to Michael Green about this when I interviewed him for Blade Runner, and he was saying that what we saw wasn't the vision he had in mind. So I understand, and Martin Campbell's a great director, but at the time DC was still in its infancy of making that's a weird spot, early 2000s for all comic book movies, mainly because it's that weird spot of like, hey, we know that there's something here, but we don't know how to execute it exactly. And I think that The Dark Knight really did a really good job of executing a character that was Batman. Mm-hmm. But that's very hard when you're saying, okay, because on the other end of that spectrum is Green Lantern, and I think that was too much too soon. I personally, though, with the director's cut of Green Lantern, I don't think it's bad. I actually like the director's cut, no joke. I like the Green Lantern.
Yeah, I didn't mind it either. I remember people crapping on it. I'm like, it's no Batman Robin. It's it's watchable. And
excuse me. I can watch Batman and Robin every day over watching Green Lantern
You're
one
crazy.
more time.
Batman and Robin's bad.
But I will say this though. Give me Idris Elba's Green Lantern any day. I will forget about that crappy installment they gave us.
Yeah, he's speaking to my heart. Joe rolled his eyes because he's racist.
Shut up. Idris Elba. Idris Elba isn't enough.
No, he's not. Oh, please. You were like, I would love to see him as Jon Stewart.
No, I never said that.
Yes, you did.
No,
roll the tape back.
Never said that.
Yes, you did.
Anyway, thanks for calling in, Andy, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Have a good one.
You take care. Call us in at that hashtag show on Skype. Get in your phone call while we still have a couple minutes. We are going to be talking about this. Migdalia keeps yawning. You've been really tired today.
I'm tired.
What'd you do last night?
I didn't really do anything.
Really? You're just tired? Just to be tired?
Yeah, our back and forth yesterday really tired me out.
I was out with Christopher Kim and Lee last night from Power Rangers. We ended up going to Little Tokyo after one of my screenings.
Oh my gosh.
It was, we ended up drinking a lot.
That's Kyler Lee's brother. I love Kyler.
It is. He doesn't like talking about that, though.
Really?
Yeah, we'll tell you off air. Anyway, he's a super cool dude. We're working on a project together, which actually... Oh, fuck, I can't say anything. We're all working on a project here at that hashtag show.
I don't even know.
It's the voice thing.
I didn't tell me off air.
It's the voice.
Yeah.
You know a little bit of it. So, we're working on something.
How many Christmas songs do you want us to sing?
Oh, yeah. We haven't even decided on a Christmas movie yet.
No.
Santa Slays?
He was getting a list of bad
Josh
Christmas
wanted
songs.
Santa Slays, and I'm kind of in for that.
Can we see the trailer? Can you pop the trailer up or something?
Can you pop it up on this so we could so you could play the trailer? I want to see it. Yeah. Santa Slays.
Is this a horror movie?
It sounds like it. It's a bee. It's like a bee horror movie. Oh,
yes.
What was it? What was it? Wasn't there one called Black Christmas?
Black Christmas.
Two. So there's a new version with Michelle Trachtenberg and the old one's from the 70s.
It's kind of gruesome.
Should we do it?
Well, let's see Santa Slay's trailer.
Listen,
first.
if you have Goldberg in it, I'm in. That we have a wrestling.
We'll
show.
have a poll. We'll put up a poll.
Oh yeah, we can do that
hashtaggers.
What else do we want to talk about? I mean, guys, call in. We're here. We're taking a Q&A, or we'll also Migdalia. We are also going. We should start talking about this right now. Actually, we're going to be at Anime LA in January. Oh, look at that! Look at that phone call.
I have to pee, but
you're on with that hashtag show. What's up?
Toilet seat is up.
Oh, wow. Hey.
Hey, how are you? Who are we talking to?
Jalen?
Serenity.
Oh, Serenity!
Now.
How are you, Serenity?
All good. But they is Ricky, actually. But there you go.
Well,
Ricky.
I like Serenity, though.
I like Ricky. Ricky Ricardo.
I like Ricky, too. So, well, you would just call you Serenity or Ricky? Up to you.
Either one. Either one.
Okay. So, Serenity, have you seen The Last Jedi?
Of course not.
All right, yeah, so no, this is a good point. This is a good point.
Of course not.
Because Serenity's not a big Star Wars fan, and I can somewhat agree with his perspective, mainly because, and I do agree with this, and I think we were talking about this off air. Hardcore Star Wars fans are the hardest to please, and they're I would say, the most critical. And I get it as a fan of being a fan of certain things,
right?
But I do somewhat agree that I love Star Wars, but it can be overhyped at times.
It's just for me, it's not my thing. Like I said, I watched all the movies and I'm like, eh.
Fair enough. Now, next question is, how do you feel about this this Disney and Fox merger?
I don't like it, but I'm gonna do a wait and see. And I don't know, we'll see what happens. But I don't like majority of Marvel's movies. So with them being in charge, I'm afraid that they're gonna mess up my X-Men, and I'm not gonna have anything to watch. So I'm like,
I mean, it's a valid point if you're
already messed up your X-Men.
It's a valid point if he's not already a Marvel fan, though.
Missy.
I'm sorry. They already messed up your X-Men.
That starts with the X-Men. All the ones up at are the Wolverine movies, okay?
So which
Serenity got so mad at me because I was like, Gambit's canceled.
I honestly think you're right.
I want to see a Gambit movie, yeah, but I'm not like a hardcore Gambit fan. Like I'm like, if it happens, it happens. It doesn't. But I like to see different things.
Yeah.
Like we got the main team, and like the comic book, we have the main teams, then you have a solo book. So
right.
I would like to see more solo stories.
Well,
I really want women have a book like either Psylocke or Jean have like their own solo movie.
Well, Jean would be a great solo movie.
No, it would not.
I think Jean would be great.
I'd rather have Psylocke than Jean.
Well, Psylocke's a character, but you can tell some stories with the hand, especially because that was a big part of it.
I had a movie about a novel a couple years ago about Jean and Gambit. Like they go to New Orleans to do this investigation, and like I would like to see something like that. Like they're not really using their powers a lot. Like it's more like a detective story kind of thing,
right?
And like dealing with the characters.
Yeah, like Logan was. That wasn't, solely based on the X powers or anything like that. It was more of a character story.
Exactly.
What X-Men do you think would fit into the Netflix world, Serenity?
Netflix. The Marvel Netflix.
Yep, Marvel Netflix. Who would you want to see from the X-Men universe in there?
X Factor.
Oh, that's a good one. I would love an X Factor series. I think that would be great.
Marauders.
Marauders would be also cool. I think an X Factor thing could play so well, especially like somebody like Jamie Madrox, who that would be perfect.
The movie that they're trying to do, I'm thinking it's actually going to be an X Factor movie, not a solo movie. Everyone thinks it's a solo movie, but no, in the press releases, it doesn't specifically say it's a solo movie. It just says he's starring.
You're talking about the one that they're talking with James Franco, right?
Yeah, multiple.
So I'm thinking what it's going to be is going to be the X Factor movie, but we'll see. But I would prefer that as a TV show because that book on his X Factor team, when they did the whole detective story thing, that was so good.
Is that the Peter David run you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a really good run, and also gives Madrox like such a prominent role in the X-Men lexicon.
I think that's two different things. X-Force is like one thing, but the James Franco Multiple Man is a different
Well,
thing.
X-Force is Cable and all those guys. X-Factor.
Sorry, yeah, X-Factor.
X-Factor is like Multiple Man, and I mean, it had different variations. I remember when I was a kid, X-Factor was more of the government-funded X-Men. It was like Havoc and Strong Guy, Multiple Man. I think Wolfsbane was on the team. Forge. There was a point where Mystique and Sabretooth were on that team. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that's perfect. Having an X Factor Netflix series with that's a really good idea.
But maybe it would be too much like Jessica Jones because they both
because he's a detective. So it's a detective thing.
Similar.
Yeah, the Bishop would be a cool one too. Actually, like a futuristic Bishop, and he ends up back.
You know who could play Bishop?
Don't tell me Idris Elba.
Not Jennifer Lawrence, but I would like a Mystique miniseries. Like her actually using her power shapes to other people, not being the same person all the time.
That means you get a different actor for every, you get these big A-list stars for an episode or two. That's actually not a bad idea either.
The main actress will wear blue makeup and all of that. But then, she was like, okay, I have to go undercover into, I don't know if you're aware of Mystique's comic book.
Uh-huh. Oh, I haven't. I have not read Mystique's comic book.
I have that. See, they could have made the Ocean's 8 plot with Mystique.
Okay, this is it. Okay, Mystique is mom. Professor Xavier made her his spy. So he sent her around the world to do all his dirty stuff. Everyone thinks Professor X is super pure, but he do some dirty stuff. But he doesn't do it himself. He has other people do it for him. So he had this network of mutant spies that he had, and Mystique was one of them. So one time she went to North Korea, so she changed into a Korean man and as a soldier and went in and got information. She went down to Mexico and did the same thing. She changed them with the people. So you're it's not like a permanent person.
Yeah.
You just have them okay, right now I need you to be a 5-year-old girl. Okay, now you're gone. I won't see you no more. And then changing instead of her always just being Jennifer Lawrence or whoever they get to play the character.
I like the idea. Now, real quick, I gotta ask: are you going to see The Force or The Last Jedi at all?
Did we convince you? Wow.
I rarely go to the movie theater, but this month all the movies I've been waiting for come out, and they come out pretty much the same day. Jumanji, Pitch Perfect 3, and
Migdalia saw Pitch Perfect.
I did.
Did you like it?
I did like it actually. I didn't see the first two.
Yeah, I love music and musicals, and I love that series.
We're all in this together.
Is that one of the songs?
We should watch High School Musical next week.
Is that even a Christmas thing?
No.
I love High School Musical.
What bad Christmas movie should we watch next week during After Dark?
Does it have to be bad though?
Yeah, that's funnier.
The only Christmas movie I really know is Four Christmases, and I think it's a good movie.
Oh, I've seen that movie.
Did I?
Is that with Vince Vaughn?
Yeah.
It's my baby daddy.
Oh, what? Vince Vaughn is your baby daddy.
Look,
where is the off button here?
Hey, have you seen The Breakup? I love that movie.
I like personality, and I like a man that's thick. So he's like my.
So you don't like skinny Vince Vaughn from Jurassic Park 2? I've
never seen that. So
it's okay. Do yourself a favor. Never do.
Yeah, it's not great. Do you like Swingers Vince Vaughn? He's thin in that. You've never seen Swingers?
I'm saying he's never seen it.
It's the best one of the best breakup movies.
That's what, I've never heard that in my life. I love you because you're just out of the box. Vince Vaughn is my baby daddy. I should make you a shirt.
Migdalia, what are 2 breakup movies that you would like? What are the go-to breakup movies? Mine is The Breakup and Swingers.
500 Days of Summer.
That's a good one as well.
And I don't know, second good breakup film. I don't know.
He's just not that, even though it.
Huh?
He's just not that.
He what?
He's just not that into you.
He's just not that into you. I don't know if I've seen that.
I have, but I don't know if it made such an impact. There was a really good film that was based on a breakup, but I can't think of it.
The Breakup.
No, I've never seen that.
It's great with Jennifer Aniston and Vince Vaughn.
It's I guess we don't work out.
Oh, you're cutting.
If you go back and look at that movie now, you'll be like, oh my gosh, him, Ben Affleck, Jennifer Aniston, Scarlett Johansson.
Oh yeah, Ben Affleck's in that movie. Jeez.
Yeah, I love doing that when I go back and watch a movie and I'm like, he was in there. He was in this.
It's crazy.
Ben Affleck did a bunch of stinkers in the 90s and the early 2000s. Huh?
Mae Whitman.
Meg Whitman.
Mae Whitman.
Who's that?
I feel like I know.
She did the movie called The Duff, and she was also.
Oh, The Duff. I know what The Duff is, but yeah.
She did the voice like on Katara from Avatar. She did Martian on Young Justice. She's like a really.
Oh, I know who she is.
Famous, yeah. So I love her, but I didn't know she was a voice actor. I'm like, I was like watching one of these what you call it, blind wave, and they're watching all these shows on Avatar. I'm like, no, that's not right. I ran and looked, I'm like, what? She did Katara's voice, and I'm looking. Oh, she did Megan. What the? I'm like, I'm surprised she did all this stuff because she's so young. We were on the same age. She's like 30, but she's been doing voice acts since she was like 6 or 9.
It's crazy. Well, Serenity, thank you so much for calling in. We hope to hear from you more frequently.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we guys have subjects. I'll call in.
All right, cool. Thank you so much, Serenity.
Yay.
I think we're gonna cut it.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna end it.
I'm
Unless
sorry,
you want to watch a trailer?
Yes.
All right, let's do the trailer.
We're gonna do the trailer to end because I still have online Christmas shopping to do.
Oh my God.
Macy's only has a sale for like 4 more hours.
Do they?
Yeah, that's a really good sale.
The coolest jacket from Guess.
What are you getting me for Christmas?
I got you a job here, didn't I? So let's.
Where's my paycheck?
Let's.
Did you get a paycheck
let's go to
for
that.
the job?
Let's go to this.
What's today?
It should work.
Today's the 16th. Interesting.
I was gonna ask you, have you?
No.
Because I haven't either.
We'll talk about that off air. But let's watch the trailer. Look, it's right there.
We can't play the audio though.
Yes, we can.
Can we?
Yeah.
It's the truth
We're getting
you want,
flagged.
and
No,
it's
we're
the
not.
scary truth you're gonna have.
According to
Yeah.
Claus, Santa
So-
Do you think we're not gonna listen to the movie while we watch it next week?
No, we can't. We didn't for the
I don't
Star Wars
even know
one.
how the copyright works for YouTube.
I'm telling you, we can't do it.
all bets are
I
off.
guarantee you.
I guarantee you can. What the Santa?
That's the Santa Claus. This is the Santa Claus.
Fran Drescher?
Hey, that looks like that's Bill Goldberg. That's great because he looks like Tim Allen.
What the hell?
Is this really Bill Goldberg? Whoa.
Oh my
there's gonna be
God.
there would be some controversy with him grabbing that girl like
Is that
that.
Kirsten Dunst?
Not sharing gifts and presents anymore.
Christmas can sure
Why is he just kicking people
How
around?
come, wait, did this movie actually come out in theaters?
I'm just trying to spread a little
No,
healing
this did
tide.
not come out in theater.
Are you saying Santa is offing everyone who's naughty and nice?
Was that
Who's naughty and nice?
was
or
that
who's
Mark
not?
Hamill's voice that I just heard? Who?
Yeah.
Oh wow, she is in this.
This holiday season,
This is like some kind of Lifetime Hallmarky movie.
Whoa,
Or
this is kind of amazing.
Spike TV.
Lock your
both
doors.
the windows.
So this is in our lead for
Got run over by a reindeer.
Everyone stand back. Things are about to get a little messy.
this is a Sci-Fi Channel
Oh my
movie.
God. No, there's not enough sea monsters and stuff.
Santa Claus.
I just love the fact that Bill Goldberg did
How
this.
about Jack Frost? That horror movie. Not the one with Michael
Michael
Keaton.
Fassbender?
No,
The one with Michael Fassbender?
not that one. That's the snowman.
Oh.
No, that's not what I said. That was... Of course Josh would know about this film.
Yeah, he wanted to do some other film called like Martians or something, Christmas in Mars or something. I don't know what it was.
Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
Yeah, there you
From
go.
like 1940s.
Mars Attacks. That takes place
All
on
right,
Christmas.
so we are signing out. We will see you next week for our Christmas episode.
And we're
we
gonna
don't
have
know-
Christmas cookies.
Can't have Christmas cookies. We're not sure who's going to be here for next week, but
No one.
we will be.
No one will be.
We probably will be.
Yeah.
All right, so that's going to do it for us, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Migdalia, where can they find you on social media?
You guys can find me on Facebook and Twitter at Miggy Spicy and on Instagram, Miggy Cosplay.
You can find me at that hashtag Joe, here, Screen Rant, everywhere else, I guess. But that's going to do it for us. Thank you for watching, and please hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with everything trending.
And geek pop culture.
Perfect.
Merry Christmas.